Hello, my dear friends. Welcome to the show, Jack Chow on the East West Show with the G&E TV. California, 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 beautiful California with lots of sunshine that is so popular to the rest of the world. No, well, nobody doesn't know California sunshine though, but to us, we have 365 days of sunshine out of a year though. We have a problem. The problem being our drought, our water. Our water is being on the verge of being busted right now. It's been a problem for 3.5 years, as far as I know, as far as I get involved, and the situation now is being talked about from all directions. So to get to the point, to get to the status of present time status quo of California water, I have my good friend, the one who is on the business, has the supreme say of that business, like the Supreme Court of the United States governing the same-sex marriage thing. He has the right to govern the water.
Well, I know about that.
Okay, good. He is the executive director of California Water Quality Authority, Mr. Ken Manning. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Jack. It's nice to be here again.
All right, good. In terms of water, I know you're the one, right? Okay, you're the water guy to talk about. So, since our last interview, it was about 2 months ago, right? 2 months, maybe more.
Yeah.
How is our water doing?
Well, not a lot has changed in the last couple of months. I mean, we had, in terms of on record, May was actually a very good water month for May history, and so that helped a little bit. But for the most part, what's happening is the water that's falling on the land, especially in the mountains, that water is being absorbed into the soil and by the plants because they're so dry. They're taking up all that water, so we're not getting much runoff. What actually really did help in May is that they did get a lot of storms in the Colorado, Utah, and in the mountains that feed the Colorado River, and that actually helped us by feeding a little bit of water into the Colorado River system. So Lake Mead is actually up a few feet from what it was a few months ago, and that helps a little bit. So you don't think about it, but that rain in Colorado helps us almost as much as our rain here. So things are a little bit better. The other thing is that there's been a lot of discussion by weather services about the El Nino that potentially will show up this winter. And they say there's an 80% chance that there'll be an El Nino. And I want to caution the viewers that just because we have an El Nino year doesn't mean we're going to be out of a drought. It means that the chance of us having a wet year are good, but it doesn't mean that we're going to be out of a drought. It may take 2 or 3 or 4 years of good weather, rain weather, in order to get out of a drought. So things on the local have not changed much, but in terms of looking out in the future, there may be some hope for some relief from this drought.
Sure. To get to the point, I believe both me and my audience need some basic education, right? Here you're talking about the Rocky system, right? Along the Rocky system, when you look at the terrain map, where you see kind of like tilted this way, right, from northeast going towards southwest, right? Does that mean a benefit in terms of water or advantage, disadvantage to the water situation?
Southern California receives water from a number of different places. Of course, the water that falls in our mountains and the snow that's in our mountains is a direct benefit to us, but also water up north and snow in the Sierra Nevadas. So if up near Mammoth Mountain or Lake Tahoe, up in Shasta area, when it rains or snows there, that also benefits us because we have water that gets to us through the State Water Project.
Oh, you mentioned Lake Tahoe. Excuse me for a little insertion, though. I heard the other day over the radio, 3 days ago, I believe, even Lake Tahoe, the water level has dropped quite substantially.
Yeah, it has.
Right? Yeah. It has only like 1,800 feet instead of 3, something like that, right?
Yeah, it's down a few feet, and it's a huge lake. But all of those rain events, if you down through the Rocky Mountains, there is a line that it's an invisible line that that people in the industry refer to as the Continental Divide. And everything that is west of the Continental Divide will flow towards the Colorado River. Everything east of the Continental Divide flows to the Mississippi River.
Oh, I see. You're saying this way,
yeah,
right?
so everything that's on the western side of the Continental Divide, that water is going to flow to the Colorado River, which then flows down through the Colorado River system to into the lakes and the dams of the Colorado River. And Southern California receives 4.4 million acre-feet of water off of the Colorado River. So if the water in the Colorado River is good, that helps us. We also get water from Northern California. So, and then of course, then the city of Los Angeles receives water from Owens Valley.
But does California buy water from Colorado?
Well, it's what's called an adjudicated river basin, and so we have water rights to that water that are managed by the Bureau of Reclamation. And so they manage those water rights, and so those water rights go to agricultural interests in the Imperial Valley and along the river.
But do we have to
Los
buy
Angeles.
water? Buy the water?
Well, there's a cost to the water in terms of it depends on how you define buy. In Southern California, we have to pay for that water, but we're paying the cost of that water. We're not buying it at a retail level. We're not like, it's not like going to the store and buying a bottle of water.
You pay the basic.
We pay the cost to get that water to us and the cost to treat that water so that we can use that water. And so it's a cost. And the same with Northern California. We pay the cost of that water, the energy cost to push it up over the mountains, the cost to treat it, all of those things. So the cost of, there is a cost to the water. And we get water from all these different places. And so when we have a wet year in those areas, that helps us in Southern California. It's like one big black box. And it doesn't make any difference whether it's wet over here or wet over here. It helps everybody in the box.
You're talking about overall.
Yeah.
Overall look of that, right?
Yeah. So
in addition to the northern source of water, though, so last time I remember you mentioned quite a bit about our own groundwater.
Right.
So anything about groundwater, where did the groundwater come from, or where does it come from?
Well, it comes from water that, the groundwater, the ground doesn't make water, the ground stores water. So you think about the groundwater as being large storage tanks underground. Now, they're not storage tanks, they're geologic formations that hold water. It's like a bathtub.
Okay.
And so the water will fall in the mountains, and it will, as it comes down through that watershed and down into the area just below the foothills of the mountains, the geology of that area is sand and gravel and rock. That's why in the San Gabriel Valley and a lot of places in the Inland Empire and even in Los Angeles, you have rock and gravel companies that are digging, and that's because the geology of the area is so good for percolation of water. That water will hit those areas, those areas, and it'll percolate down into the ground, and it'll settle in these aquifers.
I see.
And those aquifers, some of that water in those aquifers have been there for thousands, tens of thousands of years.
Oh, I see.
So it's ancient water.
Oh, ancient water. What you do is that you get new supply from rainwater to
Supplement.
to supplement, like
Yeah.
like you go a cycle, right?
Right.
Okay. Okay. Now it's a constant supply. Now, when we talk about the lack of water, we're talking about lack of the new supply of the rainwater. Am I right?
Yeah, it's in that rainwater. It's kind of like the bank that we've talked about in the past. This is the savings account, this rainwater that we have in our aquifer. And so right now we're drawing from that bank more than we're putting in because of the drought.
I see.
So what's happening is the aquifer is going down. We're at historic lows in the Southern California aquifers.
Like the same thing happening in my checking account.
Yeah, it's kind of the same thing.
So
yeah.
I'm taking money more than I'm putting money in, right?
That's right.
So,
And so what we need to do is we need to be able, by having a better rain year, we're able to supplement that water in the ground and help build that bank account back up again.
Okay.
The other way that we get water is the water from the Colorado River in Northern California that we use in Southern California. That water will come in, and we'll actually put that water underground and help build that bank account. So some of that water will go directly served to people, and some of it actually goes into the ground.
Okay, with the two sources together, meaning the northern supply from the Colorado part of north, up north, and locally we did have few drops lately, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah. May was actually a fairly good year.
Putting together about depositing water into the bank, though, are we looking at a better picture than last time we met, or are we looking at the still same thing, or even worse?
It's almost the same. May helped out a slight amount in terms of it put water into the reservoirs that are on the Colorado River.
I see.
And so that helped us in terms of having potential for additional water, but it didn't help us. It's not like it's gonna save us. We still are in a major drought and have to take tremendous precautions.
Only a term that it may, but we're not sure that it will. It will definitely, absolutely yet.
Yeah.
Right. So.
Right.
All right. So to my audience today, we're talking about water. We're talking about California's water, to be more precise, and we're hit by a drought for at least 3.5 years. So we're trying to survive. How? That's a problem. And then there's a lot of water mandate to talk about. And then we probably should take a break right now. With me today, by the way, is my good friend, Mr. Ken Manning. He is the Executive Director of the Water Quality Authority of California. So we'll be right back talking about the mandate. Please stay with us.